CNN.
FEMA, the federal agency providing emergency assistance, says it has received more than 16,000 applications for individual assistance after the wildfires. On Friday, the state's insurance commissioner issued a moratorium preventing companies from canceling fire insurance for 1 year. Between 2020 and 2022 alone, insurance companies declined to renew 2.8 million homeowner policies in the state, according to data from the California Department of Insurance. Joining us now is Carmen Balbar. She is the executive director of Consumer Watchdog, a nonprofit, nonpartisan consumer advocacy group that focuses on the insurance market in California. Great to see you.
Good afternoon.
All right, what's your recommendation to people? What's the first thing that they need to do to start the process of getting assistance?
Well, right off the bat, consumers should try and get a copy of their insurance policy and then start collecting receipts, start recording everything. Many consumers don't know that they have a right to, right now, reimbursement from their insurance company for evacuation costs, and they can get a big portion of their policy limits up front. So if you're in an evacuation area, and especially if you already know you lost your home, contact your insurance company right away. You can get an advance on your policy limits. Then be sure to document every conversation you have with your insurance company, because that's going to be critical to getting your claim paid in full and in a timely manner.
Just last hour, California Governor Gavin Newsom told our Kyung Law that all fire-damaged buildings will be inspected. Perhaps the process begins within the next 15 days or so. How helpful might that be as people try to work with their insurance to rebuild? And in a lot of cases, you know, there are people who might be underinsured or uninsured altogether.
Absolutely, and I think that's really one of the biggest fears. As far as the inspections go, one important thing for consumers to know is that you should not start clearing debris from your home. And I know none of us are there yet. We're still in the middle of these fires. But you shouldn't start clearing the debris once the smoke is cleared until an inspection takes place, because your insurance company has to see the real damage. But as far as the financial impact for consumers goes, it's really threefold. The two things that you mentioned, folks who are uninsured because the insurance industry summarily dropped them, people who are underinsured, either because they had to buy a lower benefit policy because they couldn't find another, or because they were forced to increase their deductibles, et cetera, because the policy was so expensive. And critically, consumers who are going to have to fight to get every dollar of insurance benefit that they're entitled to. So those are the financial challenges that consumers are facing as we get these fires under control.
Right. And for those who are insured, you know, are able to get some kind of assistance with the, you know, the damage of their home, the cost of their home to rebuild. There are some obstacles ahead about whether they'd be able to rebuild in that very spot. How do you recommend people navigating that?
Well, there's a lot of considerations that go into the conversation about rebuilding. When the neighborhoods in Paradise in California faced a very similar circumstance with whole neighborhoods wiped out because of wildfire, the city got together and put together a plan to rebuild smartly. And they have rebuilt that community in a way that is safer from wildfires than it used to be. And I think those are the conversations we'll start having very quickly in the Palisades. I'm sure one of the very first things that consumers get concerned about right in the wake of the fire is the basic fact of the toxicity of the property. And all of that needs to be cleared and mitigated before the rebuilding even starts. So it's a long road ahead for people. There are a lot of resources out there to help, but it will be a challenge, absolutely.
Yeah, a real arduous, tough road ahead, indeed. Carmen Balbar, thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, so far these